finished watching inside of Levi Stadium, training camp practice. It was a good time. I think everyone really enjoyed it. Alex, Horst, what did you guys think about this wonderful time we got to come together with all the faithful and just enjoy 49ers football being back for 2021?
I'll tell you what, it was exciting for me. Horst, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, it was a great time. First time, like he said, since 2019, anyone's been in Levi Stadium. We got to be part of it. The stadium wasn't near full, but it was an electric atmosphere. Everyone was excited to see the players, the coaches, just to see football in person again. And it just means we're getting that much closer to the season.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Now, there were a lot of takeaways from what we actually saw inside of practices. I'm not sure that we see it the same way that a lot of the other people see it. So this is going to be interesting as we break it down and really go over what we saw and how it's going to impact what we see in the future. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting out there a couple more times, but right now, I think what we saw was not exactly what everyone else has been seeing when they go to training camp.
No, a lot of things have kind of been really kind of overhyped and overblown, and a lot of things are getting really, what's the right word, guys? Exaggerated, potentially, in terms of how certain things are going on.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try and get into as much as we can, not go too far, like too in-depth in detail here from the blue lot one. But here's the reality of the situation is there was a lot of ups, there was a lot of downs. This was a back-and-forth day, but there wasn't a lot of back-and-forth with that defense. That first-team defense for the 49ers looked stout all day long.
Yeah, the Niners defense was on point from individual drills to team drills, 11 on 11, everything they did. They kind of seemed to get the better of things today. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the defense looked really great. And then that's what caused maybe some issues for the offense, especially for the quarterbacks. Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, had a decent day. I wouldn't say it was anything out of this world, but both of them, were making plays when they were asked, but also had some bad throws as well. So I thought that if you came to see this, you didn't leave thinking that Trey Lance is ready to go right now, and you also didn't think Jimmy Garoppolo really put himself, distanced himself from Trey Lance right now. So as far as quarterback play goes, there were good things, there were some bad things, but overall, I think this is what you expect in the even flow and the flow of what training camp kind of looks like.
No, agreed. And so, look, there were some other things going on. We had some DNPs today, right? We had Epicom not out there on the field.
Again.
It's getting a little shaky.
3 days now.
It's something to definitely consider and look at. With Monday being off, do you guys think there's any chance Epicom's practicing tomorrow on Sunday?
I don't think so. No, I don't think we'll see him tomorrow. I think he won't practice again until Tuesday if he does. And they're just making sure they take care of him. It's a better thing to do, take care of him and see if maybe he'll be ready for the first preseason game, where I think ultimately they'd rather have him playing that than practicing in front of the fans today. So it was a little disappointing not seeing him, just because I wanted to see that speed off the edge and just see what he could do in the open field. But we didn't get to see it. Maybe we'll get to see it later in camp when we come back again.
Agreed. And then you still had Shire still dealing with the knee stuff. You had Armstead out today, which was one of the ones I actually didn't pick up on right away. I don't know how I didn't, but Horst is the one who pointed it out. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
It's his big head.
It is his big head. And then Bosa working on the side field for most of practice. D Ford a little bit on the side field as well. But that for the guys that were out, per se, like the guys who weren't practicing, that was really...
Kinlaw as well.
Kinlaw as well was the other one. That was pretty much it. You got to see pretty much everyone else going out there. And training camp started off a little slow. I mean, there's the slow start, the beginning portions of practice that you're normally doing, right? They're going out there, going through, walk through individuals, putting in some stuff, doing some walk-through install and different things. You saw some guys struggling with lining up and just learning whatever the new things that they're putting in today. Hurd was learning some new things and was out there doing some stuff. I did like seeing some of the creativity in some of that install period. You saw some counter reverse action Hurd on a couple of those as well. So there was some fun stuff being put in that early portion, but it wasn't until we got to one-on-ones that the kind of the action and the emotion picked up a little bit.
Well, business definitely picked up between River Craycraft and Fields.
That's true.
Fields grabbed Craycraft's face mask. Craycraft did not enjoy it and ends up rifling a ball over at Fields. Almost turned into a little bit of an altercation. That was kind of fun to watch. Craycraft is a little bit exciting out there. He gets busy out there. So.
He's got some fire, dude.
Yeah,
he really does.
Him and Austin Watkins really were intense today. But it felt like as soon as those two little altercations happened, that business picked up from everyone that plays receiver and defensive backs in the one-on-ones, that it really got a lot more intense.
Yeah, you saw Sherfield, win the battle deep, catch
Yeah.
the ball for a touchdown, get up and get in Fields' face, letting him know you're not going to disrespect one of my fellow receivers, and he really let him have it. He gave him the business, and Sherfield looked really good at practice.
Yeah.
As far as the hype train goes, everything we've heard about Sherfield was confirmed to me today. I thought he looked really good. And really clean on his routes and was catching everything thrown his way, so I thought it was really good.
Yeah. It makes you question some of the stuff with Arizona and what was going on over there, because he does. He looks like he belongs out there. He looks like he belongs with this wide receiver group.
Yeah, I think some of it is the scheme, right? He fits better in this scheme than he fit in Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. He has more opportunities to get open, so this is a better fit for him, and I think he's got a really good shot to make this roster.
Yeah, he looked nice today. The other guy that was a little bit, I know people have been talking him up, but after seeing him in the last year or two, Mohamed Sanu, I thought looked really nice today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the route running. Route running's there. The speed stuff is still not there. He caught that big pass right over the top, and wasn't really able, after he caught the big pass, to burn and blow by guys. But he is getting separation. He's playing physical well, so physical at the point of attack, not getting bullied, and then able to get that separation off the physicality. I liked a lot of what I saw out of Sanu today.
Yeah, and I think that we saw that because of Jimmy hitting him over the middle. Jimmy was successful again in those intermediate routes over the middle where he was getting the receivers the ball. He wasn't always clean. He wasn't always on time. Sometimes it looked a little out of sorts, especially on passes outside the numbers, which is something we expect from Jimmy. But overall, when Jimmy had a clean pocket, he made plays. He got outside the pocket a couple times, did a couple throwaways. You saw him check in and out of plays, which I thought was important. That was nice to see him checking in and out, which you can't see guys do all the time. So good on him, and that was really nice to see. And I'm curious what you guys thought about Jimmy, because I thought he forced a couple passes. And I'm not going to go out here and blow smoke and say that he looked the best today, because I didn't feel that way. I thought he had some struggles, but he also, was more of a master of this offense, as far as you felt like he was in complete control of everything that was happening at every moment. Didn't always execute it the best, but the control and the leadership is there.
Yeah, I think there was a noticeable still gap between him and Trey Lance as far as just veteran things. I'm not saying Trey Lance won't get there and get there soon, but veteran things, like you said, being in control of the offense, having everything ready, everything flowing, still looks like he's ready to start. Jimmy did miss, like you said, forced some bad throws, missed a couple out routes that he should have hit where guys were open. And it wasn't, I think he's definitely had better days at practice, but it wasn't by any means an awful practice by him. But he just doesn't seem to be in a situation where there's a guy breathing down his neck that was picked in the top 5. He didn't seem to pull away from him when he was given the opportunity.
Correct. Here's the thing. What I will say for Jimmy, in defense of Jimmy, I guess, is that in terms of production today, the production was on Jimmy's side more than it was on Trey's side, especially when he got into team situations and team drills. The team performed better. That being said, the first team O-line is significantly better than the second team O-line, so you can't knock Trey for some of those things. Jimmy did have some bad throws. Jimmy also had 2 of the better throws, especially over the middle of the field today. Big completions that he had. One of them to Debo should have been 100% a touchdown and ruled a touchdown, but they marked him down at the 5 or whatever it was. That one it should have been a touchdown pass. He had one a little bit later to Sanu, the big one during the 2-minute drill. That was fantastic and great. Jimmy had some positive moments today, but he had a lot of negatives. During one-on-ones, he did have 2 nice deep balls that he threw. One of them that was completed for a touchdown. The other one that was just out of reach of, I believe it was Craycraft. I may be wrong on that. And Trey had a couple beautiful deep balls during those one-on-one situations. But overall today, quarterback play, a little disappointing. I wasn't very happy with how either guy performed. Both main quarterbacks, had good moments, they had bad moments, and then they had man moments where it was just kind of a wash. Expected a little more fireworks today than we got.
Well, we saw the read option from Trey Lance, and that was exciting. And I think that was a glimpse into the future. You know what I mean? I really do. I think that is what we're going to see primarily from Trey Lance this season, especially early on, because that looked like what he had the biggest grip on, right? That was what he was going to be the most successful at. Other than that, the deep pass to Sherfield on that touchdown against Fields, that's in one-on-ones, and that's a lot easier to throw and complete passes in one-on-one, so you can't grade those passes. Yes, it's a nice touch throw, and it's on its spot, but it's one-on-one. You know what the coverage is. It's man all the way. There's no reads that go into that. The one thing, too, that we saw from Trey that I hadn't seen a lot was he was getting sacked and also balls getting batted down.
Yeah.
And those were things that, were kind of going against him a little bit, but overall, I thought it was up and down from both quarterbacks throughout the practices.
Yeah, I felt like Trey definitely looked like a rookie at times out there. Now, you could see the arm talent, the size, the athleticism, all the reasons he was drafted as high as he was are very evident when you see him in person. But he still definitely looked like a rookie to me.
Yeah.
I don't think he looked like a rookie in the sense that he's going to be a bust. He looked like he's heading the right way.
Yeah, this ain't Jim Drunkenmiller.
No, I'm not talking bad on him by any means.
Well, yeah.
But I'm just I feel like we're giving a little bit more realistic view on Trey than some other.
Well, you get why they think that way, because you see the power in his arm, you see the acceleration in the passes and stuff, and when he gets it out on time, it looks beautiful. It's just all the other things that he has to clean up. It's not the physical talent and getting the ball out. There is a little bit. I know I pointed it out when we were talking about it during the stream, or during the episode during the practice, that he was getting his elbow underneath and kind of pushing the ball, and the ball was elevating on out patterns, and it was kind of evident early on. And I'm curious if he's going to be able to clean that up, or if that's something that he's going to have to battle with all season.
Correct. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be something he's going to battle with a lot of the season, because he did have some mechanic stuff that he's cleaning up. And so when you're cleaning up mechanical issues and things of that nature, no matter how many times you rep them, as soon as you get into any sort of live situation, what is natural to you, what you have done your entire life is what's going to be the thing your body naturally goes to, because it's second nature. And so he's going to have to work through those things and continue developing and practicing and working and drilling those things and really focusing on it. And this coaching staff is going to be all over him on it. We know that for a fact. So that was one of the things I noticed. You pointed it out, and then I saw a couple of his balls sail, especially on those out routes. Occasionally it happens over the middle too, if he's really trying to force a ball in there, when he's really trying to add that zip and get that thing in there. But for the most part, here's the thing, right? Trey Lance deep ball, it looks good.
Oh, it looks really nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing him out there playing. I thought he got a pretty hefty amount of reps as well.
He did.
He was out there a lot.
He did.
Getting a lot of reps. Not a lot of reps no real reps with the first team. He was primarily with the second team. They're rotating the receivers in like we're used to seeing. So Debo, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle was out there working with them. So he had guys that he could work with. And overall, it wasn't a bad day, but it definitely wasn't to the level that everyone has built it up to be.
That's for sure.
I think I came in. I think that's part of the problem, is you come in with these expectations of what everyone is saying you're seeing from this guy, and you see it physically, but you don't see it in the other aspects of the game that we are really wanting him to excel at. And that is picking up this complete offense and being able to execute this offense at a high level. And so far, it's not there. We've seen him check into a play today that didn't work and get completely blown up by Maurice Hurst. And you've seen Kyle Shanahan's reaction afterwards was not a pleasant one. So that was definitely a bad read. So there is a learning curve still going on with Trey Lance, and that is to be expected. That's what we expect from a rookie. It's unfortunate that everyone is getting overhyped on this guy as far as what they're already saying about him at practice, because if they let this guy develop at a normal pace like a rookie quarterback should, and a guy like him, he's going to be a fantastic player. Just be patient with him, and when he's ready, he's going to tear it up.
Yeah, that first team O-line looked really good today, I thought. Yeah. The group of Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, Alex Mack, and
Brunskill and
McGlinchey. I thought that group played really well today.
Yeah.
But also, Raheem Mostert, still very fast.
Yes, vision's still great too.
Yeah, he looked nice today.
He did.
As far as running backs go, I'm curious what you guys think. I'll throw this out. Who did you guys think looked best besides Mostert? Because I thought Mostert stood out, his speed and everything. But between Mitchell and Trey Sermon and Jermichael Hasty-Gallman, who did you guys think was the next best guy?
It's hard to say.
Gallman.
Right? Well, I feel Gallman is the right answer. Trey Sermon had the pass that bounced off his face mask. That wasn't a good look. He had his moments. He had a couple nice runs. Gallman consistently looked like he was hitting the hole correctly, hitting hard, getting downhill quickly, not struggling to make some reads. A couple times Sermon I felt could have bounced in areas where he didn't bounce and tried to force things downhill, which, hey, it is what it is, especially in the system when you're learning things and still figuring out blocking schemes and things of that nature, especially now during live situations, right, where defense isn't scripted, so the offense is having to react and guys are adjusting to what they're seeing in front of them. So there's going to be a learning curve there for Trey Sermon. It's hard to see with Elijah Mitchell, because Elijah Mitchell against that third team, dude, he's running lights out, but it's against the 13 defense.
Elijah Mitchell's my guy for today that I saw. I just liked his running style. I like the forward lean, the good vision, the way he was able to get up the field quick with one step and cut, one step and read, and really get in there. I thought of course, Gallman looked good, and I think that the tell with Gallman was he got in there during the goal line situation.
Yes,
they pulled
sir.
Trey Sermon off the field. They put Gallman in, so expect that to be his role. He was very good at that in New York. Anytime they were on the goal line, he was very successful. So getting these guys out there in positions where they can really help the team, it looks like that's the way it's going to go. Mostert, Sermon, Mitchell, and Gallman.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed Mitchell's running today. Like you said, he looked explosive. He looked quick. He looked like he was advertised to be. I mean, coming out of college, he was. I'd like to see him run against the first team a little bit, but that's not his fault.
No, and he's still going against a very talented defensive line.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still. I mean, that's the thing. That's one of the things, and we're going to get to. JLA asked a great question. He wants to know a little bit more about the right guard battle.
Oh,
we got some stuff for you, JLA, on this right guard battle.
There's a significant gap.
There is a pretty big gap, but let's talk a little bit more about this D-line group because I think that's a little scary right now. The third team O-line and that second team O-line got roughed up really bad by this D-line group, and the scary part is they were wounded yet again today. They were guys not out there. Bosa's not out there. Ford's not out there. Ebukam is not out there. Armstead not out there. Kinlaw not out there. Those are guys who are starters. Who are going to be guys who are on the field playing significant snaps, which means you had second-team guys playing with the first team.
Yep.
You had third-team guys playing with the second team and dominating this second-team O-line for the majority of practice. I felt bad for Trey Lance at times because even when something was schemed up, he obviously didn't feel comfortable and felt like he had enough time to maybe take some shots and push the ball downfield.
I think the clearest thing to me was the defense run fits. From the linemen to the linebackers, everyone was getting in the right spot.
Yep.
Safeties playing in the box, getting into the right spot, making sure they were filling the windows and plugging holes. So this run game struggled. And then you had these defensive linemen that were just beating the offensive linemen off the ball. Maurice Hurst had a great overall practice. He looked very good. He looked quick. His lateral movement is something special. And that interior defensive line was good. Kerr was in there, making plays. And then there was a lot of pressure on the outside. Anytime the 49ers were trying to do a play-action pass where they were going to move the pocket, somebody was getting free on the outside. A lot of times it wasn't a tackle's fault. It was either a scheme or an issue with a running back or a tight end coming across the formation to pick it up. But the D-line looked very ferocious, very physical, and they were getting in there and causing all kinds of havoc all day.
Yeah, like you said, I think the defensive lineman of the day was definitely Mo Hurst.
Yeah.
He really gave Aaron Banks problems all day. The other guy another couple guys I thought played well, I thought Kevin Givens played pretty well, had some nice where he ripped inside on people, made a quick first step, and made the play. Another guy, don't know much about, made some plays, Eddie Yarbrough.
That's 77. JL just brought up number 77.
Yeah.
He had himself a nice day today as well.
He had a very
He did.
nice
He
day.
also had the bat down of Trey Lance. He did. He looked good coming off the edge, which, I mean, sometimes he was going against guys, that really he shouldn't have been going against. He's way more talented than them. But when the 49ers got to third team offensive line, it got a little scary out there, especially on the the tackle spot. You have these other guys playing out there and they look good, but when you got that deep, it just got a little bit scary to watch.
It was.
And that's what you expect, and that's what you see, and that's why Rosen and Sudfeld had zero time to throw the ball usually.
Yeah, they typically did not. Pinor, you said so. Eric Banks is good to go. No, not at all. No. The opposite of good to go. It did not look good today. Mo Hurst dominated him pretty much start to finish. At one point, Horst turned to both of us, looked at Ant and I, and said he just needs to start calling Mo Hurst Daddy.
No. I said if he keeps playing like this, he's going to owe Mo Hurst a Father's Day gift.
That's correct. Yeah. That's Father's Day gift. My apologies.
Yeah, so I think that he is Mo Hurst really got the best of Banks, and it's what we've talked about before, right? It's Banks' lateral movement. That seemed to be the key. Mo Hurst was able to use his quickness and speed to get up the field and get past Banks, and that is a scary thing because we were watching that and looking for what was going to happen with Banks overall, and if he could close the gap. We saw Compton play. We saw Brunskill play. They both looked good. We saw McKivitz play. He looked good.
Yep.
But when it came to Banks, it looked like Banks was struggling, and that is something to watch because I think everyone has thought Banks was going to push for this and eventually get this job. And I'll tell you right now, there is a huge gap as of right now between what we saw today. Now, it could be a lot better on Tuesday.
Correct.
But what we saw today compared to what we saw from the other guys, he is definitely bringing up the rear as far as those three go.
Yeah, from my perspective today, he was definitely the fourth best guard.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't want to, and we can't go over the top.
I said just for today.
No,
yeah.
I understand. You were right. But I'm just saying, and we're not going to go over the top. That's why we would like to see more days of it. because it could have just been one bad practice. But I mean, I think there were questions about his lateral movement that I think we've always asked, and it was very evident today that is a real issue.
Yeah.
Slow feet don't eat.
No, it's true. I mean, this was our initial breakdown analysis. This is kind of why we didn't have Banks as a guy the Niners we thought would target in the draft, was because of this reason: the lateral quickness, the zone scheme, things in that nature, wanting to do those things. And so if you're not able to do those things successfully, you're going to struggle in a zone run scheme.
True.
Now, granted, he did do it in college, and like you said, this could just be a bad day for this guy. But let's talk about a guy who had a good day, another good day in the second group, Jalen Moore, dude.
Oh, he's so good. At one point during drills, offensive versus defensive line, I was confused and thought he was Trent Williams. I told Hurst, I was like, dude, is that Trent Williams? No, it's Jalen Moore. That is how good he looked over there. It was just very stout and able to handle his business on the edge. So he is developing nice. And looking at that left tackle spot, I mean, this guy might be the swing tackle. I mean, this might be a foregone conclusion at this point. I saw McKivitz playing some too, but it looked like Jalen Moore was just really fantastic today, and I'm very impressed with his technique and the way he was playing. So I think he could develop into something very special down the road, and especially as a swing tackle this year.
Yeah, I was really impressed, just like you, with Jalen Moore's technique, his footwork. Especially because he's not a natural offensive lineman or football player.
True.
So you got to remember, Jalen Moore is a guy that's still learning the game. He doesn't have 6, 8, 10 years of experience like these other guys.
True.
So I think he's going to, from what I saw today, Jalen Moore looks like they might have had a massive hit late in the draft there with him.
Agreed. And by the way, shout out to the 2 new subs we just picked up, Terrell Cox and Spy Nick Danger. Welcome to the Cutback crew.
Yeah, what's up?
What a good first one for you guys to tune into.
Yeah, and thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, big time. I mean, look, Banks, questions, concerns. We're going to definitely want to dive into that a little bit more on Tuesday when we come in here. Jalen Moore, looking nice, looking solid. A guy, that showed me some things, especially during the one-on-ones, that I liked a little bit of. Ambry Thomas. He had some moments where he was playing physical. The hand placement was there. He still got beat a few times by some of our better wide receivers. Aiyuk owned him a couple times with a couple different routes. Debo got a little physical with him in space, and he didn't hang up too well with it. But jam off the ball sometimes, right off the get-go, he looked not too bad. I like some of the stuff that I saw out of him in man, but he's definitely got a lot of work that he's going to have to clean up before he's ready to be the solidified number 3 guy, or even considered to be the number 2 guy.
Yep, there's lots of stuff that he's got to do. The fact that they were already putting it out there, this guy should be cornerback 1, is crazy to me from what I saw on film today. This is a guy that's still learning, he's still developing. In fact, today it was not Ambry Thomas that took some first-team snaps, but it was Diameter Lenore that took first-team snaps. So I think they're just in a full rotation. They're trying to get these guys out there and get them work. These rookies still have a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to get better. They're still picking up this scheme, and I think they're going to, but they really have to. We just have to let these guys kind of grow and just mature. And we're struggling with this because I think they get built up so much, and then you come out here and you see kind of what I expected to see. This is exactly what I expected. This is exactly where I thought they would be as players that have a lot of potential, that are still learning, and definitely not ready to start anytime soon. So as depth pieces, they're great, but right now they got a lot of room to grow. So Ambry Thomas is definitely not cornerback 1 right now.
No. Yeah, I saw. I thought the group of Verrett, Mosley, and K'Wan Williams is definitely the top 3 corners on the team from what we saw today.
Verrett is lights
Jason
out.
Verrett is playing at an all-pro level today. I mean, obviously I haven't been here every day, but as far as today, Jason Verrett practiced at an all-pro level.
3 pass breakups, right? I don't remember him giving up a pass completion today during team stuff.
No,
do you guys?
No, and the way he closes on the ball,
it's so
his
fast.
Speed is back.
Yeah, he presses on balls so fast. It is crazy. He just gets up there and gets into people's business. But there was a couple times Jimmy should have had an easy completion, and he's there. I know he knocked away. I think one of them was from Debo for sure over the middle. Mm-hmm. And he's just in his hip pocket. He's got his hand in the right spot, reaches around with the right arm, knocks it down. You can't ask for better technique than what he had. So that is very nice that we're going to get that from Verrett. And I think Mosley looked good as well from what I saw. Yeah. Wasn't a lot of action for him. He's still getting acclimated, but he looked good.
The other guy, sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
The other guy I thought made a couple plays that I didn't know much about was Lawson Webb. With the
BW Webb.
BW Webb. I thought for the little bit of opportunity he gave, I thought he made a couple nice plays.
And he's definitely go Niners. He definitely had some good moments too, and the veteran presence that he brings to this young DB group. He's got a little bit of an attitude too with him, and a little bit of a bark with him with some of these receivers. So it's definitely picking up the intensity at practices, which you like to see. I enjoyed what I saw to Dante Johnson today as well. Dante Johnson had a couple times where he pressed hard on throws towards the sideline, in which maybe he gave up a step or two off the break, was able to close that distance and break up some passes, and at least maybe get a guy down immediately. He looked pretty solid today out on the outside, especially as well.
Dante Johnson looked clean. I mean, he did. He looked like, in my opinion, the third best corner on this team.
That's fair.
You had Mosley and Brett doing their thing, and then I thought Dante Johnson was the next best guy. He just looked like he knew where he was supposed to be at all times, knew what he was supposed to do, and was able to get his body in positions to make plays. So when it comes down to these corner positions, I think we wouldn't normally want Dante Johnson to be that guy, but he is that guy right now. And these rookies are going to have to learn. And they're going to have to develop, and if they do, then they can pass him because they're more talented. But right now, Dante Johnson is playing like, I think, the guy we thought he was going to be, a few groups ago, back when Harbaugh was here. So he's playing to that level. Maybe it's system fit as far as this scheme, but he's doing a good job. You're right to point out the things that he did well, Alex. That you're 100% right.
Yeah, I agree. Dante had an excellent day.
I was one of the only DB guys that I tried to focus on a little bit of that second group, like heavy on, because I wanted to see a little bit more of him, because there hasn't been a lot of talk of Dante Johnson, and I thought I saw some good stuff from him today.
People don't want to talk about Dante Johnson.
No, they want to talk about Ambry Thomas. They want to talk about Diamador Lenore. And look, Diamador Lenore didn't really have a great day today either. Got burned by Austin Watkins during one-on-one drills, which wasn't good. And then the touchdown that he gave up to Kittle during the two-minute drill, it's George Kittle. It's George freaking Kittle. So one I'm willing to give a pass on, especially since Kittle bullied him and almost basically put him on his back before going up for the ball.
Well, and I thought he held his own, though, early on in those 11-on-11 move the ball drills, time, because I thought he held his own and really didn't get thrown on a lot out there when he was out there playing on that, for Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't, Jimmy didn't go after him, there was a lot of times Jimmy is looking around, there's no one open. Blanket coverage out there.
Sure.
And he had time to throw. He just had no one to throw to. That secondary is definitely as advertised. They're better than we thought they were going to be. They're not going to have to depend on this D-line like, a lot of people think. They're going to be able to go out there and get stops, on third down and get off the field. The D-line is going to be a big, help for that. But these guys can hold their own out there. Last year was not a fluke.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. Tavon Wilson kind of sat out a little bit towards the end, so we didn't get to see him a lot in team.
Oh, he's good.
He looks good, though.
He was covering George Kittle early on, and he looked good. He had George Kittle's, number as far as he was right in his hip pocket. Of course, Kittle is Kittle, so he can make plays. But Tavon Wilson, that hype is real. This guy did look good, and he's in the right spots when he needs to be. He's making the right reads. He had some good run fits as well, where he's in the box making plays. You expect that from Jimmy Ward, but Tavon Wilson is the bright surprise, I think. He is the guy to keep watching as we get through. Jaquiski Tartt better get back quick, or he ain't going to be getting his starting spot back, because Wilson's got a stranglehold on this thing.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you there at all, not even a little bit. There was some other good stuff too that happened. The 2-minute drill. Well, before we get to the 2-minute drill there, that closed out practice. The first few drives for each team, they kind of rotated. They did a move the ball drill. They have about 3 downs essentially to get a first down and continue the drive downfield.
Yep.
First few drives, not a lot happening. The first team defense really studded up and just shut down Jimmy in this offense. In that second group, first actually, that was the second group that went. The first team went second.
Yeah,
the second team went first. And Trey Lance went out there and got stuffed on the first 2 plays. Third down play, just short of a first down, so you end up getting the next group out there. And then finally, the third team comes on the field, and the third team is able to move the ball down the field and put some points on the board, which was nice and good for the third team, and we want to see
him.
Acknowledge Nate Sudfeld, folks. Acknowledge him.
He had quite the cheering section here today.
He really, really did, and we were really big fans of Sudfeld. And then Trey goes back out there. He has another. Well, he actually gets a first down. They do a read option on the first one. He's able to get around the corner, get some yards, completes a pass to Kevin White, extends the drive, and then they go 3 and out from there. And then Jimmy comes on the field, and they finally get some momentum on offense. Run play to start. They get about 2-3 yards. Second play of that series for Jimmy Garoppolo, his second time around the move the ball drill. Nice play action pass on second down. Really gets the defense flowing. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw bite heavy on the play action run, and Charlie Warner slips out across the middle. It was nice to see Charlie Warner getting out in space, catching the football, being a receiver, showing a little bit of speed, getting a little bit of separation from Greenlaw, but also tip your hat to Kyle Shanahan. The guy knows how to scheme people open.
Yeah, that was nice. It really was, and I want to kind of get into the Sudfeld-Rosen thing real quick. I know that's not where you were going, but one thing that stood out was Sudfeld is a natural thrower of the football. I mean, it looks smooth, it looks clean, and he looked good when we were in, one-on-ones and those scripted situations. He did not look as good in team. I thought that overall Rosen actually looked better, that the balls looked better coming out of his hand. So I know we don't normally talk Rosen, but I thought Rosen overall did a little bit better than Sudfeld today. But as you were saying about Warner, that is the Kyle Shanahan effect. That's just what he does. He takes advantage of these guys and gets them in positions where they can get open. You're right. It was nice to see Warner actually catch the ball and get involved.
By the way, someone that we haven't talked about yet, I don't know how he played that much, but man, if you are looking for a weightlifting program, find out what Jordan Matthews does.
Woo. He looks big.
He is jacked.
He looked smooth too. He looked.
He made a couple plays. He looked good.
Yeah,
he did. By the way, CJ, shout out. We appreciate that you like the merch, man. The merch looks good. Go to 49erscutbackshop.com. You can copy yourself some. You can copy yourself a Training Camp 2021 t-shirt so you can support both Treys in the Bay now in San Francisco. Make sure you go check that out. It's a lot of good stuff there, a lot of good opportunities.
Very true.
But that moved the ball drill that second time around for Jimmy and that offense. They finally got clicking a little bit. The defense up until that point looked like they had a good control of practice. They didn't really give up a lot of big plays. There weren't a lot of opportunities for the 49ers offense to make plays, and they finally get some momentum. They finally get some movement, and Jimmy caps it off with a nice touchdown pass to what should have been a touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel over the middle. It was one of the better passes of the day. Throws it over the top of a defender, puts it right in the window to Deebo, and Deebo's able to go downfield and make a play on it.
That is where he excelled, was getting the ball over those, second-level defenders and in between the safety and those guys being able to make plays, with the catch. You saw the Mohamed Sanu one, then you saw the Deebo Samuel one. That is where Jimmy lives. That's where Jimmy's successful, and that is where Jimmy's going to be continuing to be successful all throughout the season. That is just where he lives, and that's where he does a good job. But it all came down to the pocket, too. Anytime Jimmy had a good pocket, he made a play. Yes, the defense was fantastic, and they made it hard on Jimmy and these receivers. But he looked good today. I thought in those situations, specifically in that last drive, you're right, he had a couple of good throws. That was probably where Jimmy, shined the most. Other times, trying to force balls to Kittle and stuff early on in practice didn't look good.
No.
But later on in that move the ball, he looked good with those, couple of throws. Of course, he had a couple times he had to throw it away. One time he had to roll out and throw this awkward-looking ball to Kittle behind the line of scrimmage, just nothing there. So the defense was doing his thing, but that's just what Jimmy is Jimmy. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. Anyone expecting anything more than what you're getting from Jimmy, you're going to get that from Jimmy. And I think we're okay with Jimmy being Jimmy at this point because Trey's got a lot of room to go.
But anyone trying to say that he's not good, Jimmy's Jimmy.
Well, I think there's a lot of people trying to say that because he got a mixed reaction when he waved to the crowd. Yes, there are people that are booing Jimmy Garoppolo because I don't know why. He has done nothing to anyone. He's just done his best to try to, be a good player for this football team and a team player. I don't understand the boos. You can like Trey, but you should also like Jimmy. There's no problem with liking both. We do. It's Jimmy and Trey. It's not as not one of them. They're in a battle, and they're handling it better than some of the fans are.
I don't know why you would go to your favorite team's training camp and boo players. But
I don't know, but Jimmy's the man. He's going to be able to handle it. As far as I think he's the man in the way he handles situations. He's handled the Trey Lance situation great. He's going to handle the fan situation great. In fact, he was posing for pictures, with fans after the game. Big up to Jimmy Garoppolo. As far as being a man, he's one of the best that there is. As far as how he handles things.
Correct.
On the field, he has his struggles, but as a man, he does not.
No, he's a good dude. He's great for this locker room. He's a great role model for Trey Lance for him to learn and pick up the things that he needs to pick up also in the system and how to carry himself as a professional throughout this league for the entirety of his career. I'm happy that we're going to get Jimmy to give that to Trey right this year because most likely Jimmy's gone after this. But fans need to get on board with this idea. It's going to be Jimmy and Trey this year.
I think so.
Trey is going to be used in packages. Trey is going to be used in situations. But most likely Trey is not going to be the starting quarterback for the 49ers in 2021. And you know what? That's okay. I know that they took him third overall, but this was a team that was a Super Bowl contending team that had injuries that fell into the 12th pick slot. They fell into the middle of the draft. They should have been nowhere near the middle of the draft, and we lucked out and got into this situation. Well, I guess unlucked out, right, with all the injuries that we had. And then we decided to be aggressive. The front office decided to be aggressive. Shanahan Lynch wanted this team to be aggressive and sure up. shore up this problem so that way if something happens again in the future, you don't run into the same problem where you're picking in the middle of the draft. You're still a team that's making the playoffs. You're still a team that has a chance to contend. And so they go up and ensure that they get the guy that they want. Not the guy that's left at 12 or 15, the guy that they want. They went out and got Trey Lance. So give him time, because if you give him time, it's just going to end up being good things for the 49ers in the future.
Well, and I'm going to stick to the same thought process I've had, right, is that I haven't seen him play a single game yet. And until I see him play a single game, I'm not going to be able to tell you if he can start this year or not. Because this is orchestrated, it's planned out, and it's not 100% accurate, demonstration of what he's going to be in the future. So I'm not going to go ahead and say that he's going to start or not, but I will say that we're going to get a good look at him over the next couple more practices that we get to see if he makes improvements, see how he picks up this offense, he's able to get in and out of checks, if he can the right plays, run the right plays. If he can do all that stuff, then he's going to have an opportunity. But I think the Kansas City Chiefs game is going to be the first opportunity where we really get to see what Trey Lance can do, and that'll give us a better idea of where he actually sits. Once the bullets start flying, we can see where he sits and whether he's going to have an opportunity to start this season or not, or if we just need to get with the whole program that this is Jimmy starting and Trey Lance is going to be used in packages, which ultimately I'm leaning towards, but I will not make that full decision yet as far as what I think overall.
That's probably
waiting.
safe. That's probably safe.
Yeah.
Nico Wilson asked, guys, what's up? How does Trey Lance look in person? You guys look like you're having a blast. Season is finally here.
Trey Lance looks very good physically. Like, everything about this guy screams he's a future star in this league. I think it was on the field, just some of the things that happened as far as him not completely understanding when to check certain plays. He definitely checked in the wrong play. And then there was a couple of times he looked a little frantic when he was, had to move around in the pocket and maybe chose to make a wrong decision, and he also took some sacks.
That was the one thing today I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he held the ball longer at times, and then there were times where he missed some guys. There was that one with the comeback route that he ended up completing to Sherfield. The Sherfield was open for quite a bit of time.
It was,
He
yes.
could have hit Sherfield a lot sooner, and he just couldn't locate him, couldn't find him. And then there was the one, I believe it was Jordan Matthews that was up the seam, correct? He missed him up the seam. He had a one-on-one opportunity and went with an underneath route instead.
Yeah, and you're right. There was a huge mismatch. You had a linebacker on Sherfield. So you would think that would be something, if you're reading the coverage, that you would go to. You would be able to make that read, locate it, and make the play. Sherfield had gotten in and out of the break. In fact, the linebacker had fallen down, and Sherfield had to stand and wait on the ball. So you're right. That is a perfect play to pick out. But we saw those from Jimmy, too.
Correct.
You know what I mean? We
Correct.
really did. Both of these guys didn't look completely sharp. They looked like they had things to work on. But that's what I expected, and I think it's once again the hype that was built around Trey Lance is that he was doing everything right. And I know he had great practices where he was 13 to 14 and all that. We didn't see that Trey Lance today. Whether that is because it's not completely scripted now and they're going through different plays. The defense is switching up the looks that they're running. They were running single high safety, giving a cover 3 look and then changing to 2 high and a quarters. And they're really confusing him, I think, pre-snap because they were doing it late. Yep. And that you're only going to do that if you're trying to confuse the quarterback. So they were doing a very good job of making sure that they were getting Trey Lance in uncomfortable situations where he was going to have to make quick reads and quick adjustments. And today was a little slow at times. Sometimes it was great, sometimes it wasn't. And I think that's what you expect from a rookie quarterback.
Nothing really to add. Absolutely. Pretty much hit what I had to say on the money.
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
Look, I mean, Trey. That's the thing with Trey right now is there's going to be that hiccup in that learning process of picking up scheme and understanding shells and disguises and things of that nature. That's the hardest part for a quarterback in the NFL because there's a variety of ways in which you can disguise and throw those types of coverages out there, make you think one thing and then show something else. Those disguises very early on, too, with that first group. I mean, not to take anything away, from Jimmy or from Trey, but Jimmy struggled early, too, and the receivers weren't able to get separation a lot early as well. Second group receiving core didn't have as many problems. They were able to get a little more open. But it was finding and locating who the guy is that I'm supposed to be looking at for here with that second group that Trey struggled with. Jimmy was just having problems finding a freaking guy in space who was open.
Yeah. And a lot of times when we saw a lot of success from Trey, it was when he had Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle against second-team corners and safeties. Brandon Aiyuk abused second-team corners and safeties.
Man.
It was bad.
That guy is special. So anytime he was out there, Trey, has a natural chemistry. I think they do have somewhat of a chemistry going there. And I'm looking forward to seeing that relationship, continue to be nurtured and grow in the future. I think it's going to be fun to watch. But Brandon Aiyuk is just too good for these other corners, and he was out there proving it today. And Trey had, a lot of times when Trey made throws, there was a lot of separation. There wasn't a lot of tight window throws. I'm curious to see what happens in these preseason games if we get some of those tight window throws, see how he's able to do that, because he had the one where he could have had Jordan Matthews up the sideline. He ran a little bit of a wheel route, and he didn't pull the trigger on it, and I think that was one that we thought he could have pulled the trigger.
Yes.
He hit the check down, which is very poised, and but I think I was expecting the great aggressive nature of him to take over and make that pass.
Correct. And there was a couple times with 49ers fans when Trey would check down, you heard the 49ers fans behind, there it is, Trey, great read. And a couple of times I was like, I don't know, I felt like that was a situation he could have taken a shot.
Well, unfortunately, because he wore number 5, it was a great read. If he'd been wearing number 10, it would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe he's checking down yet again.
And we're talking about the same fans that used to tear Alex Smith to pieces.
Yeah, out for checking down. Yeah, Trey is Trey. I mean, we just got to accept that he's growing right now, and he's doing the best he can, and overall he looks good. It's just not out of the moon or over the moon like everyone else is saying.
Try not to be here.
Let's just bring it back a little bit and just understand that this guy for a number 3 pick looks very good.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be very successful in the future. You can see all the physical tools.
Oh yeah.
But it's not what everyone's saying. He's not ready to start day 1 yet. No. We have development that needs to happen through training camp.
Oh my goodness gracious. Matt Calloway with the $4.99 super chat. He's got a question for us.
Okay.
Hey guys, how did Hasty look?
At times good and at times bad.
Yes.
He had wide open passes he missed.
Yep.
I mean, literally went right through his hands.
Right through. That one was across the middle.
I thought that was. But I thought in the 11 on 11s that there were times when he was able to jump cut and kind of find his way through the traffic and make nice runs. So I thought he had a slow start to practice, but ended well when we got into 11 on 11s. I would definitely say he didn't stand out compared to the other guys, but I thought he was on par with Trey Sermon, actually. As far as I didn't think Trey Sermon showed out in a big way today. I thought him and Hasty were pretty, on the same level, and I thought that Mostert, Gallman, and Mitchell had the best days overall from the running backs, but I didn't think any of the running backs looked bad by any means.
Yeah, I think Hasty definitely flashed, but I thought Elijah Mitchell had a better day than him.
Yeah,
correct. Mitchell definitely had a better day than he did, and they were running against a lot of the times the same type of teams. So Mitchell had a lot more big runs. Hasty had more physical runs. He looked a little more like a physical runner, where Mitchell looked like the inverse. But that wasn't the case because Mitchell was running downhill hard. It's just he was finding the lanes, he was hitting those holes, and he was breaking. Like you can tell when there's a difference between an Elijah Mitchell jump cut and a Tasty Hasty jump cut.
Yeah.
There's a difference in terms of the breakaway and how quick he's able to get up to top speed.
I think the thing with Hasty, too, is still that there are times where he runs into defenders.
Yes.
There were several situations where he could have made a move, bounced outside, and he ran directly into a defensive lineman. And sometimes I just question that sometimes with his vision. That is something we've talked about before that he needs to work on, and that was something that was sort of an issue last year, and why he's definitely not successful in and around the goal line.
Correct.
So that is something he can clean up, but I mean, he didn't look bad by any means. It would be nitpicking if I said he looked bad. I thought overall he looked pretty good.
I agree with you there. And then there was a question here from Niners. Oh man, let me find it here. From longtime Niner fan. Did Bosa, Ford, Hurd play during team drills?
No, none of them.
But I can tell you right now, all of those guys looked full speed.
I think
they ran on the side.
Ding, ding, ding! It's time for full Jalen Hurd watch. Because I did a lot of watching of Jalen Hurd.
Shocking.
You heard?
He drew a heart.
At one point during his notes, it was literally Hurd heart.
It was Hurd heart. Because I seen him running routes and he was looking good getting out of breaks. These are all during teams, or not during team drills, but during one-on-ones and that kind of stuff. In fact, I don't even think he did a one-on-ones. It was just individual drills.
It was in those.
Yeah, he looked good. And I mean, I would have loved to have seen him, in this situation play in team drills, but he didn't get to do 11 on 11. That would have been exciting to watch. But we did get to see him run a reverse.
That was nice.
That was fun. That was nice to watch. And they were looking to get him balls when the real scripted, it's kind of the slow motion part of practice, the Tecmo Bowl style practice that was going on early on, where they were just going through the plays, just reviewing. Overall, that looked good. I thought him and Debo both, running motions and stuff. This is the first time that we've heard of them moving him around pre-snap, and we know that that's the ultimate key to unlocking his full success and ability.
And Nick Bosa, over there on the side and during the individual drills as a group, he looks good. He looks very good.
Yeah, I did write in my notes as well. Bosa did jump at one point, land clean, knee is great. He's fine.
Didn't
so
buckle.
that would be kind of the reporting you could expect from other people. So that was a very good sign.
He was getting down.
Him and Fred Warner jumped in the middle of the field, so it's great.
Look, Bosa looked good on the side field. He was working on a lot of different technique stuff. He was working on a lot of initial contact, stepping, planning, breaking, and then exploding. It wasn't crazy amounts of change of direction for Nick Bosa, but you're not going to get a lot of crazy amount of changing direction from Nick Bosa right now. You're just trying to test the knee and make sure it's holding up.
100%.
So I think you got to probably about another week. That's a safe bet. Is probably another week before you start to see Bosa out there doing team drills. After they get done with this first preseason game, you'll probably start to see him doing some team stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see him out there after this break that we're about to have.
After
we're about
Monday?
to have Monday off. Yeah,
okay.
maybe we'll see him on Tuesday. Maybe we'll get lucky and be able to see him on Tuesday at practice. That would be fantastic to be able to see. If not, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not trying to rush this guy back. I'm letting this staff and group that's been taking care of these guys do their job because they've done a great job. These guys are staying healthy for the most part. You expect soreness and tightness and all that, and so you're just waiting for that, and we'll be fine. When he's out there, he's going to tear it up. I have no concerns about what Nick Bosa can do.
No, I agree with you there. Nick Bosa is going to be just fine. He's going to be A-okay. Another question that we had in the chat, and I forgot who asked it, so I apologize. You can let me know in the comment section right now who asked it. They asked, who was the standouts at wideout today?
Trent Sherfield, Brandon Aiyuk were the first two that jumped to my mind. I thought Debo looked good. Mohamed Sanu had moments where he looked good. But Sherfield overall, believe the hype. It's there. This guy looked good. Now, take it with this, though. He was going against number twos. So he is abusing number twos. I would like to see him going against Jason Verrett and Emmanuel Mosley.
Agreed.
But right now, overall, I thought he looked good. And Brandon Aiyuk is just crisp. I mean, he's crisp and clean. He gets separation whenever he wants it.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel struggles with separation sometimes, but Brandon Aiyuk does not.
By the way, shout out to the two newest members of the Cutback crew, guys, Dan Jackson and Lawrence Daniels. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys. Yeah, I really agree. I thought Sherfield, I was blown away
Yeah.
by how he looked.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it, right? And you hear it, but you hear
I
all
don't
the
believe
things.
it.
Yeah, you hear all the things about all these players, and you're like, what can you believe and what you cannot? And Sherfield didn't have a lot of film in Arizona that we could latch onto and really be able to evaluate it. Seeing him in person today, I did see a little bit more separation speed. The way he was able to pull away from these other guys really proved that he's able to get it done at a high level. I like the way that he learned. He's out there a savage vet, I said savage vet. I like that. I'm going to stick with that. I don't even think I was supposed to say that, but I did.
I like it.
He's a savage vet, and I like it, so I'm going to stick with that. Savage vet T-shirts coming to the team store pretty quick.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, 400 Cutback store, Savage vet.
Savage vet.
Yeah.
You can take a look and be ready for it. Just be on the lookout. We'll just drop it for no reason.
You
By the
don't
way,
argue with magic.
That's accurate.
that's accurate indeed. Luke Luna. Shout out, man. $5 super chat. Cheers
up,
to the Good
Luke?
Vibe Tribe. You know who you are. Hashtag TCC.
Yeah, Luke is always on point. We appreciate Luke so much. He's in all the comments all the time. I don't think we could have 49ers Cutback without Luke. So,
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate him.
I mean, I get it. This is football. There's always going to be injuries at some point in time, but we haven't even started preseason and are already struggling with little injuries. Ridiculous. Little injuries. I mean, listen, the only one right now I think that we're overly thinking about is the Ebucon because of the amount of days now he's been out.
Well, there's a key here, though. These are not injuries.
No,
these
they're-
are hurts.
Yes.
If you're hurt, you could. If this was the season, these guys would be playing. They'd
Correct.
be suited up and playing. This isn't the season. They're not injured. They're preventing injury.
Yeah.
That's why they're not. That's why
Preventative.
they're not playing. And I understand that everyone wants these guys out there, but this is, what is this? The 9th day of
We talking
practice?
about
Day 9.
practice,
Yeah,
right?
it's day 9.
This is day 9. I mean, we haven't even got to the first preseason game. I'm not concerned about it. This is the normal way, the maintenance that you have to do to make sure you're taking care of people's bodies, and make sure these guys are 100%. We want these guys on the field.
Yep.
The Twitter fear went crazy for us. Shanahan needs to take care of these guys. He's taking care of these guys. Just kind of hang in there with them.
There's
Yeah.
no winning, right? If they hold him out, they take over precautions. Fans are going to freak out because they're not on the field. And if you don't, and then something happens to them, they should have done more.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose situation. It's better to be on the safe side, right? Make sure these guys are healthy and ready to go for season.
Well,
I mean, that's what they're doing.
And I get it. From fans, it's a little frustrating, right, Horst?
Yeah, and it sounds like someone took a little trip to negative town. You need to be even more
No,
positive.
I think sometimes it's not negative. It's
I know.
disappointment. Because you want these guys out there. You want these guys playing. You want them practicing 100%. And unfortunately, I mean, the first person I looked for today was Samson Ebukam. And when I didn't see him, I was disappointed. So I understand where someone would be disappointed. But just understanding, and I think it's the coach in me, it's a hurt. It's not an injury. If it was an injury, we'd be talking about this way different.
They would be on the PUP list. Jaquiski Tartt is injured. He's on the PUP list. He's not practicing. The 49ers right now are fortunate that the only guy that was going into this 90-man roster. Yeah, knock on shoe. The only guy going into camp right now that was on this injury list per se was Jaquiski Tartt with the foot injury, right? With that toe stuff.
True.
He's the only one that's physically unable to perform. So the rest of them, they can perform. They're just being cautious. It's preventative, like you talked about and like you'd said, and it's just got to stay that way. It's going to stay that way this year, especially because of what happened last year in 2020. The Niners are going to course correct. They're going to potentially even overcorrect at times. But at least those guys will be healthy. They'll be available. They'll be ready to go. Maybe they have some rust they got to clean off, but you would rather, as this coaching staff, have rust that they got to get off and get them a little bit back, in shape, conditioned, ready to go play, 11-on-11 NFL football, than not be available at all season.
Well,
yes.
It's a different situation than last year because last year was a shortened training camp. So all these things would have been heightened, right? And practices were more important because you didn't have as many. This year you have a lot, so you can take your time and really maneuver these guys through overall training camp and make sure they stay healthy as they're going through. So
correct. Yeah.
I'm just not concerned.
No,
about it right
I'm
now.
not at all.
I got a question for G-Rod, who had made that comment that we just talked about there. He said, "My bad, thanks, Dr. Cutback."
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Cutback.
Yeah, Dr.
Is that
Cutback.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
It's okay.
Hey, Luke Luna, $2 super chat. Shout out Luke again. Jimmy G, 5 to 10 yard gimmies in this run game, unstoppable. At times, yes, you're not wrong. At times, yes. Today, this was a pretty good game. This was a great day of training camp. I mean, we had a lot of fun. We got to see a lot from this team. We got to see a lot from these players. Right? We got to see a little bit of the install and them putting in some stuff during that little walkthrough session at the very start and kind of going through some things. That was nice to see. Seeing Jalen Hurd get involved, the read option stuff, the fans shouting RPOs with Trey when it's really a read option. Or Horst brought this up too. It could have also potentially been a wrap situation because they were pulling a guard on a lot of things. So, at the end of the day, it was nice to see some of the new stuff that they were putting in and some of the stuff they're doing with this offense. I don't have a lot of concerns right now with our defense. Our defense looks phenomenal.
As long as the defense is healthy, ain't no stopping them, none. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're gonna be good.
You forgot about the practice, probably old hat too.
Oh man, didn't miss a single kick.
And then sat under the shady tent while everyone else practiced. It was pretty exciting.
Yes.
Gotta love being a kicker.
Kids, if you want to be a millionaire and not do very much work during training camp, be a kicker.
Learn how to kick. It is the solution to a lot of problems. You can kick the football far. You can kick it a long way. You can do a lot of things. And I'll tell you what, you can make yourself a nice living kicking the football and punting the football. So look into that, folks. I'm not gonna lie, Ant. Wish I had taken punting a little more seriously after high school.
Yeah.
I was all league. Had some opportunities to go punt. Probably should have done that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here,
No.
but maybe you guys would be in the locker room with me.
I don't know. I think we'd miss you on the podcast
I feel
if
like
you were
you'd have
punting.
forgot about us.
No,
honestly.
definitely not.
Yeah. So I mean, even though were an all-world punter, I don't think
Thank you so much.
You're
That's so
welcome.
sweet.
World?
all-world. Yeah. I like to build my people up. It's nice.
So you're a positive Pete,
I
not
am
a negative Ned.
Yeah. Positive Pete. Okay.
I like it. James, no, Bosa was out there today, but Bosa did not participate in team drills.
Yeah, that was. I mean, of course, you're disappointed to not see him out
Correct.
there. He was off working on a sled, working on his pass rush techniques. Explosive first step. He looked good. I tried to keep as much of an eye on him as I could, without losing track of what was actually going on in the main field because that's where all the real main business was going on. But I did watch him a little bit, and I thought he looked very good. So.
Well, and he also did individual drills with the rest of the D line.
He did do individual drills.
And he was fully padded and everything. So.
Yeah, he was.
He went through everything else. He just didn't go through the team stuff. And I'll tell you what, there were a lot of fans who were just, every time Bosa was in an area working when he was on his own, fans were just enamored with him and what he was doing. There were cheers and shouts and chants going on from one half of the field. I'll tell you what, that was probably my favorite part of the entire experience was just the environment with the faithful, just how loud they were getting, how excited they were getting about stuff. There were obviously some negatives with the booing of players, which we just don't like to see that here because you should want everyone on this team to have success. But for the most part, the energy was positive. There was a lot of excitement around this team and a lot of excitement being back in Levi Stadium.
Yes, it was. It was very exciting. It was very fun, and getting to see the players, the way they interacted with each other, the way they interacted with fans, the way they were executing plays, definitely did not get the execution that we're expecting yet. They haven't, cleaned everything up, but I think they're going to get there. But this was a nice first step. They definitely look better in practice today than the Cowboys and Steelers looked on Thursday playing their game. So we got that going for us.
It's positives, right?
Yeah.
It's positives. You take baby steps. That was not good. It was not good Thursday night. That was not good.
Rudolph.
Yeah, that's no. The Steelers' performance there was not good.
No.
Look, nice thing is, right? Shanahan's he's on a plane. He's going to hang out with John Lynch and have a good time, right? 49ers Cutback. We're gonna wrap this thing up, get back on the road, get back to our home, and get prepped for everything that we got to do. But I'll tell you what, man, this is a lot of fun. I'm really, really, really looking forward to Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a blast.
It is going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Another time to be able to witness practice in person with the faithful again and really break it down in a different environment. So I'm looking forward to that being at the SAP Center. So that'll be fun.
Now I got to fly to Canton to hang out with Shanahan and Lynch.
Yeah.
His horse is out to do that.
He's got to get on his plane. He's got his private jet that he's booked. He's a man of many things. And
I fly it.
He's just all over the place. Cutback crew, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the support, all the new subs who've been coming to the channel the last few days. We appreciate it. Keep sharing the videos with the rest of the faithful. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. That way you're notified for every video we put on this channel. All the 49ers training camp coverage and preseason game coverage and in-season game coverage that we got coming your way. Over 20 games of great content and hopefully a quest for 6 run in the playoffs all the way to a Super Bowl. It'll be a blast in season 2.
Yes, you want to make sure you're here for all of it. You want to make sure you're here for these shows that we do about the preview game, previewing the game and stuff, because it is one of a kind. We do it different than everybody else. If you weren't a part of it last year, you'll get to be a part of it this year. We want you there. It's exciting. It's fun. And it's always fun to talk 49ers football.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of fun. We have fun when we hang out without you guys, but even more when we hang out with you guys.
That right there is the truest thing that you've said on the show ever, Horse. I just need you to know that. Ever.
Which isn't a good sign because it wasn't about football.
Okay, so maybe I was a little bit over the top and dramatic, but hey, it is what it is. 49ers Cutback crew, we love y'all. 49ers fans, until next time, you stay safe.
Remember the right way.
Is always the 49ers way.